Real estate has probably created more millionaires than any other industry, yet people still hesitate to dive in. There are tons of myths floating around, with the biggest one being that you need a lot of cash to get started. Spoiler alert, that's not always true. The real trick is knowing how to find the money, and honestly, it doesn't take much to get your foot in the door. If you play your cards right, you can start making serious moves in real estate even if you're just getting started. You don't need a mountain of cash sitting around to jump into the real estate game. What really matters is having the right knowledge and strategy. Once you understand how things work, you can start making moves, even if you're starting from scratch. A lot of people believe making money online is easier than cashing in on real estate, but the truth is, both can be pretty challenging if you're not sure what you're doing. The key to success in real estate is learning the ropes, understanding the market, and having a clear path forward. Once you've got that figured out, the opportunities are endless. Now, let's break down a few common myths about what you don't need to get started in real estate. Number 1, forget about needing good credit. Think bad credit or no credit at all is going to hold you back? Not even close. The reality is, many successful real estate investors started out with poor or no credit and still found ways to break into the industry. There are methods that don't rely on your credit score whatsoever. If you're serious and committed to making real estate work, there are creative solutions that can help you bypass the whole credit issue entirely. For example, you could look into things like wholesaling, where your credit doesn't even come into play. In wholesaling, you're simply acting as the middleman between sellers and buyers, flipping contracts rather than properties. So, if you thought bad credit was a roadblock, it's really just a speed bump, and one that you can totally get around. Number 2, you don't need to have a ton of capital up front. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need to be swimming in money to start making serious cash in real estate. Sure, it helps, but even if you've only got a few $100, you're not out of the game. The trick is in flipping contracts or securing the property and selling it to another investor without ever having to fully buy it yourself. But let's say you do want to flip or renovate a property. You can still move forward with little to no capital by finding hard money lenders or other investors who are willing to back you. Hard money loans are typically short-term and asset-based, meaning the loan is secured by the property itself. It's all about finding the money, not having the money. Number 3, major asset. Not needed. One of the biggest misconceptions out there is that you need to put up major assets like another house or large financial resources just to secure a contract or purchase a piece of property. This couldn't be further from the truth. Creative financing is all about structuring deals in ways that make them possible without needing traditional loans or large assets. It's about using other people's money or negotiating terms with sellers that work in your favor. For instance, you might find a seller who's willing to offer seller financing, where they act as the lender and you pay them in installments rather than dealing with a traditional mortgage. Or you could negotiate for an option to buy, where you secure the right to purchase a property at a later date while paying a small upfront fee. Most people stop dead in their tracks because they believe they need huge assets to get started. But with creative financing, it's more about being resourceful and savvy than being rich. In real estate, it's not about what you have, it's about how you use what you know. When it comes to making money in real estate, you've got two solid options: passive income or active income. Both have their perks, and neither one is better than the other. It just depends on what floats your boat. First up, passive income. This is the kind of income that basically works for you. You buy a property, hold on to it, and over time it starts paying you back in the form of rental income or appreciation. While it's not an instant cash machine, if you hang in there with the right property, it can end up being a real moneymaker without you having to constantly lift a finger. It's the dream, right? Earning money while you sleep. Then there's active income. Here's the beauty of real estate. You don't have to choose just one. You can totally earn a living off both types of income. You might have a couple of rental properties generating that sweet passive income, while also diving into some flips or renovations on the side to bring in active cash. Investing in real estate with little to no money might sound like a pipe dream, but it's actually way more doable than you think. There are a bunch of creative strategies that can help you dive into the world of real estate without having to dig deep into your own wallet. Here's a breakdown of some of the most effective methods. Number 1, seller financing through lease options. Seller financing is like striking a deal directly with a property owner, cutting out the bank entirely. In this setup, you agree to pay the seller in installments over time rather than handing over a lump sum. One cool twist on this is a lease option, where you lease the property with the option to buy it later. It's kind of like renting to own. You can move in, rent it, or even flip it to another buyer once the market conditions are right, all without needing to pay the full price up front. Number 2, trading fixed assets. Got something of value like a car, a boat, or even a piece of land? You can trade these assets to help secure a real estate deal. Some sellers might be open to trading in exchange for a property, especially if they're trying to unload it quickly. It's all about negotiating a win-win situation where you offer something valuable in place of cash. Number 3, taking over someone else's mortgage payments. This is where you step in and take over the mortgage payments on a property where the owner is struggling or in financial distress. this. It's known as a subject to deal, meaning the loan stays in the original owner's name, but you make the payments and take control of the property. This can be a great option if you find a property owner who just wants to get out of their mortgage quickly and is willing to hand over the property to avoid foreclosure. You get the property, they get relief, and you don't need a large sum of money to make it happen. Number 4, bringing in an investment partner. If you don't have cash, maybe someone else does. You can team up with an investment partner who brings the money to the table while you bring the deal and the legwork. Your partner might cover the down payment and other costs, and in return, you split the profit. Number 5, borrowing from a bank or getting a hard money loan. While traditional bank loans often require down payments and credit check, hard money loans can be a quicker and more flexible way to get cash for real estate deals. These are short-term loans from private lenders, and they're usually based on the property's value rather than your credit score. You might not need to come up with much cash yourself, but you do need a solid plan to pay it back quickly, as hard money loans are usually short-term. Number 6, utilizing a peer-to-peer lending network. Peer-to-peer lending is like borrowing from a bunch of individuals instead of a traditional financial institution. Platforms like Prosper or Lending Club connect you with people who are willing to lend money, often with more relaxed requirements than banks. If you've got a solid real estate deal but need the cash to get started, P2P lending can be a way to fund your project without needing your own capital up front. Real estate might seem like a grind at first, but once you crack the code, it can turn into a gold mine. Whether you're starting with zero credit or capital, there are countless ways to get your foot in the door. Think lenders, crowdfunding, or even teaming up with a solid partner. The key is doing your research and finding your passion, whether it's house flipping, long-term rentals, or vacation properties. The real estate world has room for you, no matter where you're starting from. So, take the plunge, create your plan, and start turning your real estate dreams into reality. If this has got you fired up about real estate, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any tips for making money in real estate. Got any burning questions or thoughts? Drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time with more ways to unlock your financial future.